The ups and downs, the good and bad, the trials and tribulations of being a single parent are on display in The Swarm, a Netflix original about a single mother named Virginie trying to raise her 2 children, teenage daughter Laura and slightly younger brother Gaston, on a farm. What kind of farm? Why, it's a locust farm, set somewhere in France. I really don't know, and I really don't care. But considering that locusts are a delicacy over there for some unknown reason, whatever, you do you, it's none of my goddamn business. She is dealing with all the problems that come with being a single parent. Trying to keep a roof over her family's head, keep the family business going, try to make sure that these bugs don't die and that they're properly flavored and everything, and that she can get the right amount of money to keep the power on, keep her kids happy, have her kids, get a really good education and everything, and basically keep the farm animals happy and just keep everything going. Now, she doesn't have a lot of people to turn to, but she does have a friend named Kareem that helps her out with some money because he has a winery, because France, I think everybody and their mother and their dead grandmother and their dead grandmother's grandmother, their great-great-grandmother, if you will, decided to just open a winery because France. I know that they know their wine over there. That's all I know. So anyway, this basically sounds like a typical family drama, and actually that's kind of what it ends up being with some horror elements. Here's the thing. It doesn't work as either. Basically, Virginie has tried everything. She's tried, raising them right. She uses opera music or whatever. That's a way to really annoy the bugs, unless they're into that. I love me some Sarah Brightman and some Andre Bocelli. But since I'm not a locust, obviously, as you can tell by me talking, maybe they're annoyed by the music. Maybe they're annoyed by the fact that they're just kept in this weird tent. Maybe they don't like France. Maybe they don't want to be in this goddamn movie. I don't really know, but pretty soon after, stuff doesn't work out and deals don't work out, she ends up accidentally, kind of going nuts and ends up hitting her head, and then finds out that these locusts have a taste for blood, blood! So yeah, they're bloodthirsty locusts, which doesn't sound like the worst goddamn concept. Bloodthirsty locusts. That would be actually kind of goddamn cool. Here's the thing. The movie deals with it in the most boring way possible. And from there, we have her figuring out a way to, keep these locusts happy, while trying to find a way to, sustain their, their nurturing and everything, and nurture them with blood. So she does it with her own blood, and, a bunch of bullshit happened. I hated this. I fucking hated this movie. I think I'm far enough in to say I fucking hated this, because it was really fucking bad. Fucking terrible. It reminds me of that movie that Ashley Judd and Michael Shannon did called Bug. Except this might no, you know what? I don't know if it's worse than that, but it's about the equivalent. It's really, really fucking shit. I understand what they were trying to go for, and trying to do a movie that's a bit more of a throwback, like, somebody will do anything, they'll go nuts with power, they want to keep the business alive, and they'll just go insane, and they want to try to do that, that's fine. Then it gets to where, where Virginie starts making some really, really dire decisions. I didn't fucking agree with it. I'll get into spoilers here in a little bit, but she gets to where it's a growing populace. She, gets more, tents set up and everything, more areas for locusts and, just rows and rows of stuff where they can all nurture and they can all grow and everything, because, yeah, why not create a goddamn locust empire? That can't possibly go wrong, especially in a horror movie, except it totally fucking does. Laura isn't very happy with what she's doing. Gaston's kind of just there because we do have Gaston, we do have the Beast. We don't really have the Beauty. Something against the main actress, but it's it doesn't really add up. And also, we don't have a talking candle. Do we have a talking clock? Nope. I heard the ticking clock as far as my interest in this movie, ticking downward, downward, and downward. I don't know if you've gotten this indication, but I didn't really like this goddamn movie. So, basically from there, we find out that Virginie is willing to go to a bunch of extremes to take care of this. There also aren't a whole lot of other characters in this movie, and when there are, they're just there for a reason. They're just there basically for maybe one scene, or we have somebody that's there for a couple scenes. Oh, this person's just here to advance the plot. There's a nosy neighbor. Gee, I wonder what's going to happen to that person. I've never seen a horror movie. I've never seen a movie. I've never had a nosy neighbor. I've never been out of my house, so I don't goddamn know. Oh, wait, yes, I do, because all those things. And also, I have the ability to see, the obvious shit in front of me. So yeah, Virginie basically ends up going nuts, and it's really goddamn shit, and I fucking hate it. It's fucking rotten. It is really, really fucking rotten. And also, the decisions that she makes, it's not oh, well, I have to keep this thing going. No, you really fucking don't. You really fucking don't. You talked about packing this shit up before. You could have packed this shit up, and you didn't. So basically, it just ends up where she just keeps making dumb decisions, and she wasn't worth rooting for before, and then she keeps doing dumb shit because she's gone mad with power and her poor kids. So anyway, I'm going to get into spoilers right now. Spoilers, 3, 2, 1, go. Do these spoilers fucking matter? No. Okay, so Virginia ends up hitting her head. The locusts feast on it. Then they feast on her arm a little bit because, like, oh, they have the bugs. And they have the blood taste. They got the bloodlust. And then she ends up ordering, like, 30 liters of blood because they do proper math over there. And she gets 30 liters of blood. It's like a bunch of jugs, and she does this, and that works. But then she wants 50 because she wants this thing to grow. That doesn't work. And her friend Kareem has loaned her money and helped her out and everything, and obviously there's a budding romance. But there's red tape as far as getting more blood. I guess that she just wasn't able to get that. So, she becomes a bit of a bitch. Okay, bitchier. She gets the neighbor's dog, and this is where I said, fuck this movie, fuck anybody that decided to make it. I don't like animal violence in my movies. I don't. Now, granted, they didn't really show it. It's kind of like how I felt about 1BR because they did that and they implied animal violence because they showed like a terrible thing that happened to the cat. But she got the neighbor's dog, and it was stupid, and I hated it. It was pointless. Yes, I know it's supposed to make me hate the character, but here's the thing. I already hated the character anyway. I didn't like the movie. Now you're just trying to get me to the point where I could turn it off. And then she gets a cow. Just hunts the cow off camera and somehow manages to get the cow there. This is stupid is what I wrote down. So Laura decides that she's just going to, at one point before this, is she cuts the things open and the locusts just get out. And she's like, hey, I'm just going to fucking take care of this shit. And then more locusts other locusts are trapped in there. She sees the locusts feeding on her mom. She's panicking. Kareem shows up just out of nowhere. Seriously, he must have just teleported there. And then it kind of reminds me of, like a mixture of Bug and also the end of The Exorcism of Emily Rose, where it just made no goddamn sense. It was just like, yeah, well, let's just throw that out there. All these characters are dead. We need to kill everybody off. So anyway, he suspects foul play. Like, why is the daughter acting so weird? The neighbor, by the way, got killed at one point because, of course, he did. Because if his dog's dead, then he's got to die. And then Kareem suddenly finds 50 gallons of gas just seriously out of nowhere and sets fire to everything. Just sets fire to it. I don't know where he got the gas from. I don't know if there were naturally occurring gas cans like in Metal Slug. Maybe we need a heavy machine gun. I don't really know. This was bullshit. And the locusts decide to attack. Well, I think they do, or they hated the house decor. I mean, it is France, so there's no accounting for taste. I say this, and the house has been up since the late 80s. But they basically end up just, like killing people. See, this movie would have been fine if it had been a monster movie about killer locusts. But no, we had to make it more of a family drama. And then Virginie suddenly acts, like noble and sees, I think we see her daughter out in the goddamn lake. I don't actually know. I don't know where the fuck the lake came from. Like, seriously, was the lake always there? Did the lake just naturally occur like everything else, like the gas cans in this movie? She smears blood on her face to basically sacrifice herself, and her kid's alive. I guess. Whatever. I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care one goddamn bit. This is one of the worst goddamn movies I've fucking seen this year. One of the worst. It may beat Space Jam. It may beat Cinderella. I don't know. And I mean, the thing is, I don't mind horror, or, like foreign horror movies. But after all my friends are dead and this, they may want to start picking better stuff. Anyway, The Swarm is ass. It gets an F. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.